Hey everyone, this is Chris, and you are listening to the Dad Regime podcast once again, and we are grateful that you have downloaded. We're also hoping that you have subscribed. We started the year asking for anyone who listens to just pass on how much you enjoy it to one other person. We're not going to do a whole like and subscribe thing here. We just want to grow our audience just a little bit each month, and see if we can't get those numbers ticking over a little bit more. The Dad Regime event is getting very, very close. March 16th at the Imperial Hotel, the Monday Brewery Tour. Still a couple of tickets available. Contact us at dadregime@gmail.com if you are interested. Last episode, we closed the show with Laura Jackson's new song, Away. While I was putting that together, I found the original track that she shared with us last year, a live track, so we put that at the end of the show to close today's episode. Hope you will enjoy that. It's a bit of a shorter one today. We're just talking about music and Spotify, but we hope you enjoy it.
You know what? That's good. I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own that shit.
I've got an argument for it.
For paying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're both going to argue against me, but yeah. I can understand the whole point of owning the music and having it in your possession. But long term, that's not going to be the way music production or music is going.
So, just for people who haven't been listening to the stuff that we were just talking about before, you're talking about why you should subscribe to Spotify versus buy
a streaming service versus paying for music
for a physical
copy,
or even owning the digital copy.
Digital copy.
Because that's what I'm talking about, as in purchasing online, where I now own that digital copy. Because as soon as you let's say I've just signed up for Apple Music, which is their streaming. As soon as you stop paying them, that content disappears from your phone. But I can buy the same track on iTunes, and it's always on my phone, part of my account. I own it digitally.
Yeah.
For as long as you have an account. Yeah. Are you ever going to get rid of your account?
I've got the cloud, Simon.
I know, but I'm not saying that you're ever going to get rid of it. No, but I don't intend to get rid of my Spotify account.
No, but even if I did, I could pay for it again. I could cancel my subscription, pick it up again, and have all that music back.
Just have it somewhere else.
And in fact, I could have an entirely new collection because I don't want to take up the space on my phone with the stuff that I bought. I just want to download new stuff.
I think my thing with it is the way that music has changed in terms of not the way we listen to it, obviously the way we listen to it and the way we stream it and the way it's accessible. The accessibility of something like Spotify to me is just mind-blowing as a music lover. It's just like I could listen to any album I wanted to right now. As long as you've got Wi-Fi, and in some situations not even that, you can just get your data. And although I do pay for my monthly subscription to Spotify, I pay whatever it is at the moment, $11.99 or $12.99. That to me is still cheaper than the cost of one album on iTunes.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been on iTunes to look for an album for such a long time. We're talking about $16.99 for a new album. Yeah. And what I loved about the transfer of music from CDs when we had them then into digital copies, and we talked about LimeWire a couple of weeks ago by downloading illegally.
How good was that?
Napster.
Yeah, and then going into actually, having an iTunes account and buying albums was to have that physical copy and say, okay, I can share it. Now I remember when you first got Apple Music and you were like, it's amazing. I've got all this music. I'll give it to you. And you gave it to me and I opened the folder and it all had padlocks on it. And I was like, Joel, you don't own that music.
And so that was it for me. I'm like, this is bullshit. I need to own music. I want to be able to share it in that,
And that's what I'm going to say. But what's the point in having music to share with other people when they've already got Spotify? Yeah. If you say to me, I've got this great album.
Share your playlist.
Yeah. I've got it on my iTunes. I'll copy a disc for you and you put it in your car. But like, dude, I got Spotify. I'll just Bluetooth it through my speakers now before you got to go home and then I'll see you in 6 weeks.
I'm not trashing the idea of the streaming services. They are brilliant.
Yeah.
And I loved it myself when I was a part of it, and did exactly the same thing that you did, what you mentioned in a post, in that you got it for this new music and you found that all you were doing was going back to this old music, which you don't have because you own it on CD and you're not going to buy it on digitally. I did that. I went through a massive, like the 90s grunge bands that I liked, and even ones that I knew of that didn't get into, just went deep into the 90s, which was super cool. But I also found that I was seeking music so rapidly. Like, oh, what's this? What's that? Oh, what's this last one that I've just Shazammed on my phone? And getting it, that I was losing the music. You know, you don't involve yourself with music, and it's almost that old person. You guys are going to be the old people, like, oh, I can't even remember the name of songs, and I'm going to be like, I know this whole album because I bought it and I still own it.
Come over here, look at my laptop. I've got it here in a folder. But I agree with that as well. I think it depends on your interest in the music, because I agree with that as well. There's so much to take on board. You know, Spotify every single Monday, Discover Weekly. And there's
you
15,
lost in
20, 30 tracks of new stuff, and you go, okay, last night I was listening to it, was marking some work, kids' work, came on, band came up, I was like, oh, that's cool. Went into their album, listened to 2 more songs and went, nah. I like that original one, favourite that, put it in the list. And I've got a list of stuff, a bit like Shazam, of stuff that I favoured, and I very rarely go back to it. And so it is a little bit pick and mix, and you do pick from stuff. The stuff that I've got saved, exactly as you said, is albums that I always owned anyway.
Yeah.
I just think the opportunity to have it at your fingertips and go, I want to have a taster of that, and I want to try that, and not have to feel like you have to pay. I do feel terrible because I always was a person who would have to have, even when iTunes became super popular 10, 15 years ago, I was very stringent and just like, nah, I am buying the CD. It's one of my favourite bands. I'm going to the shop and I'm buying the CD. So I've got a physical copy in my hand because that means I love the band more.
Because I'm a
and
real
they'll know,
fan.
and they will know.
I'm a true fan.
Yeah, because they'll be like, this guy bought it from a shop in this city, and
you can't sign a digital disc,
exactly.
digital track, and you can only
sign
sign cover art when you buy the actual disc. I'm a little bit sad that the death of the LP, you know, like that you don't listen to whole LPs as much as you used to, because of what you're saying. You listen to a track and you don't download tracks that don't immediately grab you, and that's I get that. I'm a little remorseful, you know, have that experience of a track growing on you so much, you know, that B-side that wasn't a single that, you know, that over time just becomes your favourite because you've listened to it and it grows on you. But I kind of think that the whole streaming thing is a little bit more of a pure music experience. I'm going to see if I can talk my way through this. Like, physical music, owning a piece of physical music is a relatively new thing. You know, like LPs, before LPs, where there was those, you know, paper roll things that, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, but we're talking about what? Maybe 100 years of being able to actually own and play a piece of music.
Yeah.
And so before that, how did you, what did you have to do to experience music?
Go and see it live or make it yourself.
Yeah. So you go to the local venue and you would pay to get in, right? Or you'd pay the musician to play the song that you wanted to hear. And probably not their song, it was probably a cover.
Yeah.
So isn't something like Spotify, where musicians are getting paid per play, essentially, a little bit more of that pure experience that you're rewarding them for the amount of time you're listening to their music rather than that one-off payment of a physical piece of media?
Do they get paid every time?
I don't know. I don't really know how it works. I'm just talking out of my ass.
I'm not sure. I know it's not as beneficial to the artists.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously it wouldn't be. You know, artists still want you to buy physical copies and pay that money for a
But it's also why the return of
live music.
Touring. Yeah, because that's where they make more money through touring rather than
that's
through
why
sales.
Tickets
Yeah.
have gone through the roof for live gigs.
Yeah.
Just like doubled and tripled in value in the last 2 or 3 years to go and see artists.
We probably need to talk to someone who actually makes money through Spotify.
And find out how
Find
they do
out what they think.
I'm not shaming this service. It's brilliant. I just hated. There was that moment where I thought, oh, cool. I can share
Simon all this music.
Yeah, and you
It's
can't.
all locked, man.
And I just thought, so to have this, what I'm experiencing, I only get if I pay these people continually, and I just didn't like it. But then it's, I do that for my phone. I'm quite happy to pay the same amount for my phone because every 2 years I'll get a new one,
Yeah.
and I know that I'm going to do that. It's like a car. I'd be happy to lease a car. Every 2 to 5 years, you buy a new one anyway. I'd be happy to have that. So I don't disagree with the idea.
You don't have to pay for it either. So you can run the Spotify for free
month,
but you get you can run it for free, but then you get the adverts in between the songs. So you get every 4 songs or something. There's an advert, which you just become
that's annoying,
numb to.
Which is weird that's just commercial radio that people still listen to.
Yeah.
And yet Spotify, oh my God, there's an ad.
Yeah, and people are like, oh my God, I can't believe I was just enjoying that music and now it's been stopped for 30 seconds of listening. But there are ways of sharing as well. And, again, if you go about it the right way and you're really keen on it, as an example, my dad and I will take it in turns every maybe 2 months. We haven't done it for a while, but every 2 months to create a playlist for each other of things. And it started off initially as new things that we discovered, things that had come up, and I'd send him 10, and at the end of the month I'd say, here's this. And then it'd be awesome because about a week later my dad would send me this huge long messenger message, critiquing and reviewing what he thought of all the tracks.
Yeah.
And it made us realise how similar we are in our music tastes, which we always knew, but amazingly we'd pick out certain elements of certain songs. And that to me has been a massive plus of using the Spotify service. It's kind of turned now into, okay, I don't listen to loads and loads of new stuff. So here's some stuff I used to listen to, but I've never played it to you. So let me know what you think. And sometimes it's like, nah, that's terrible. Didn't really work for me. Or sometimes that's awesome. And yeah, we do like an album's worth. We'll do 13 sort of random tracks every couple of months.
Do you know, it actually sounds like exactly what I want out of music.
You can join in.
And because, Simon, I don't have a fixed mindset, I'm happy to go and open up a Spotify.
Why don't you take on the procurement? No, what's the word I'm looking for? Curating of the Dad Regime playlist, so you can share that with the audience.
Does that mean I have to go and get Spotify?
I don't know. No, you can make playlists without it and share it, can't you? I'm looking into it.
I don't think so, but never mind.
Okay. I'm going to join.
Join. We turned him. Good work.
We did it.
Job done.
Woo-hoo. Simon, what's on your playlist?
This is actually something for Joel.
Ooh.
When he gets his Spotify set up and starts listening to music in the proper format. It's actually obviously a playlist that I want to share with a lot of people, but without joking, it is kind of for Joel.
This is kind of sweet.
Because it's a romantic moment. This is an artist that I think means quite a lot to Joel and I. He's a singer called Dallas Green, but under the moniker of City and Colour. He came about in a band called Alexis on Fire back in the day. Very good post-hardcore band, very good heavy band, and then branched out on his own and released a great range of solo singer-songwriter acoustic albums. And I think as singer-songwriters, as we'd call ourselves, has influenced both of us quite heavily. We spent a lot of time listening to him. We've been to see him live together. There have been evenings at each other's houses where we've gotten a guitar out and instead of playing a mix of songs, have played one of his albums from start to finish and sang it together. 45 minutes worth, haven't we? And just started at track 1 and just done the whole album together. To the great enjoyment of our wives, who also adore him. In later years, his output hasn't been as strong. I don't know whether you'd agree with that. We both feel he's gone a bit more country and a bit more soft in his output. However, I stumbled across an album this week on Spotify that was released back in November, and it's a live album. It's called Guide Me Back Home, which is actually a lyric from one of his songs. And it is about 17 or 18 live tracks from different live performances on a tour he did of Canada, which is where he's from. He's a Canadian singer-songwriter. And it is just pristine. It is beautiful. His voice is so on point. Everything is completely stripped down, so it's him and a guitar, which is exactly how we love Dallas. Him and a guitar. Every now and then there's a little bit of piano work, bit of backing singing and a bit of harmonizing, but it's him just stripped bare. You can just hear he's singing in almost like cathedral halls and these beautiful theatres. He's not performing in front of a rock stage or whatever, the local pub. You can just get that sense. It's raw and it's made me fall in love with Dallas all over again. Yeah, right. I've been in love with him for years as a singer-songwriter, and he's influenced me so much in my own songwriting. But I haven't stopped listening to it. And these are songs I've known for 10, 12 years now that he's been releasing albums. And I find myself almost feeling like they're new versions of songs. So...
Wow. Have you listened to City in Colour much?
No. No. But I will now.
Yeah. It's one of those vocals where I feel like everyone will love him, and I've shown a few people and have gone, a bit too depressing or sings too high for me, and it's like, that's exactly why. There's two reasons why I absolutely love it.
Yeah. And he's got a great sense of humour. He's got a wicked sense of humour. If you see him live and he talks, or you see interviews, and there's a few little just bits between him and the audience in these things, and just very witty, and he just makes you laugh. It's the kind of bloke you'd want to hang out with, I think. But yeah, as I said, it has just... I've just fallen back in love with his back catalogue. Even songs I'm not massively fond on because of the new way they've been done. So check it out, Joe. Yeah. Joe, what's on your playlist?
Do you know, I backtracked as well without Spotify. Just went and bought Jack Johnson's Brushwire Fairytales, which is one of the first tracks I ever heard was Frames or something from that one. And I was worried that I wouldn't enjoy it because I remember it being very lo-fi, and he was very very early in his career, and it's wicked. I enjoyed it just as much.
Yeah, it's about discovering stuff. I think sometimes things just get over-polluted, and I think a lot of that sort of singer-songwriter, male surfer, just nice reggae-ish sort of dubby sort of sound just got too much. Like I'm not saying he's the start of it. He was one of the poster boys for it very early on.
Yeah.
And then so many came out, and I just got sick of it.
Yeah.
And then through that got sick of him.
But he was actually the unassuming guy.
Yeah.
There's other guys that were quite calculated in presenting that. He was really unassuming and was encouraged by his surfer mates who, like, dude, this is great. They'd go on surf trips and he would play his songs, and they're like, you got to do something. And then he started just embedding them in his films, because he used to do surf photography, and he would make surf films with his mates. Was nearly a pro surfer, I think, and so he really didn't sort of go, I'm going to go and do this. It just sort of happened and came out, which is cool.
What about you, Chris?
I've got something you can listen on Spotify too. But it is a podcast.
Yeah.
And I actually am wearing my Juck the Federated Republic t-shirt because Mission to Zyxx, the improvised science fiction podcast, returns in March, so it should be just about spot on for when this goes out. Yeah. It's really funny. I love it.
Let's get back into it.
Yeah. That's us. See you next time.
Bye.
Till we can't keep our heads up, we stare till we can't keep a straight face, we talking till we can't keep our heads up, we still till we can't, and we'll lie awake until the light touches our faces, and we'll lie awake until the light touches our bodies, and we'll lie awake until the light touches our faces, and we'll lie awake until the light touches our bodies. Touches our bodies, and we'll lie awake until the light touches our faces, and we'll lie awake until the light touches our bodies. Thank you.